You know, it's rare when the pro-abort side comes out and they just say, "Oh yeah, we're killing a human or a living thing inside the womb," but we just have to figure out a way to explain why this should be done. You know, it's rare you see or hear from someone who is absolutely evil. And I have two stories for you here. First, we'll go with the video. This is a feminist admits the vile truth behind the abortion lobby. Quotes, "It's a form of killing we need to defend." Seriously, this chick's name is Sophie Lewis, otherwise known as Satan.
We're facing a really terrifying attack on abortion.
Really, with all the forms of birth control that you have available to you, and I think you're in England, National Health Service probably pays for everything, and you still cannot be bothered to take it. Wow.
In the US, where I live, in Northern Ireland and elsewhere.
Oh, she lives in the US. Isn't that sweet? No free abortions for you, Ginger.
In the past, the strategies that our side has tended to use have included
lying, obfuscation, euphemism, changing the definition of words.
A kind of ceding of ground to our enemies.
You see, it's not just people who disagree, that don't like abortion because you're killing children, whatever. Oh, no. We are her enemies. Enemies. Think about that.
We tend to say that abortion is indeed very bad, or we say, luckily, it's not killing. Luckily, it's just a healthcare right.
Bring on the euphemism. It's reproductive healthcare. It's just nothing but a clump of cells or even two clumps of cells. We'll get to that shortly.
We have very little to lose at the moment when it comes to abortion.
In other words, they can go full, over the top, full-throated, insane for abortion. Nothing to lose.
And I'm interested in winning radically.
You already have won. You can get an abortion in most Western countries with a few restrictions. Oh, I know. It's the oppression of the women by the evil men who want to force pregnancy and motherhood on women. Isn't that what we're told?
And I wonder if we could think about defending abortion as a right to stop doing gestational work.
Did you hear that? Gestational work.
Abortion is, in my opinion, and I recognize how controversial this is, a form of killing.
Yes, it is. It's even sort of like having eggs for breakfast. You know, you're killing future chickens, you know.
It is a form of killing that we need to be able to defend.
Let's repeat that last passage, in case you missed it.
It is a form of killing that we need to be able to defend.
It is a form of killing that we need to be able to defend. Because we can't be responsible enough with our bodies, my body, my choice, to take birth control. Sophie, the vast majority of women in the Western world, probably in all parts of the world, they practice safe sex. They use birth control, they use condoms, and there are relatively very few abortions with respect to the number of sexual acts in 1 year. But still, a stubborn 750,000 women in the United States simply cannot fucking be bothered to get and properly use birth control. And so we have to kill these babies over irresponsible sluts. Go ahead.
I am not interested in where a human life starts to exist.
Because then you'd have to put a date on things, wouldn't you? And you don't want that now, do you, Sophie?
I see the forms of making and unmaking each other as sort of continuous processes.
I didn't take enough gender studies classes. I have no idea what you just said.
The other end of the spectrum is the process of learning how to die well. And
is she also for assisted suicide? I'm going to take that as a probably yep.
Hold each other and let each other go at the end of our lives as well as at the beginning. But looking at the biology of this kind of hemochorial placentation.
She can't even say it's a freaking baby. She's not even at fetus level or lump of cells. She's at the hemochorial placentation.
Helps me think about the violence that innocently a fetus metes out vis-a-vis a gestator.
She's saying the fetus, through no fault of its own, is inflicting violence upon the gestator. Do you fucking believe this bullshit?
And that violence is an unacceptable violence for someone who doesn't want to do gestational work.
All this talk about work, emotional labor and all, it's fucking communism, people. That's where this crap comes from. Gestational work. Here's an idea, Sophie. Don't fucking get pregnant. Use birth control, 2 forms, all the time, every time, and if you don't, get a morning after pill. I'm sure it's supplied by the National Health Service. Why wouldn't it be?
The violence that gestator metes out to essentially go on strike or exit that workplace is an acceptable violence.
An acceptable violence to get an abortion because the fetus, who was put in the womb by the female herself through an act of sexual intercourse, is performing violence against the woman. And so the woman has a right to be violent toward the fetus or the Hemochorial Placentation. Do you see the insanity these people must be afflicted with to believe this bullshit? Oh, it gets worse. A woman takes abortion pill on camera, killing 2 beings in her womb as part of a disturbing PBS documentary on abortion. Look at this woman. Look at this chick. In 5 years, she's going to be freezing her eggs and bitching, all the good men are gone. Where are the good men? She's probably 30, 31, 32. She gets pregnant with twins, and she takes the abortion pill in order to terminate her pregnancy of twins. You got to listen to this. You've got to listen to this. The doctor involved says, well, after a couple days, the pregnancy tissue will come out. See, they can't say it's a baby. Can't say it's a fetus. Can't even say it's a lump of cells. The pregnancy tissue. Here's what this chick said. What I hope I feel is a sense of peace, not only with myself and the decision that I have made, but also a sense of peace with these 2 beings that I have chosen not to bring into the world. Thank you for choosing me, and I'm honored to be given this gift of life, and I also can't do it right now. I can't accept that mantle in terms of the other lives I'm taking care of and responsible for. Do you understand the concept of birth control? How fucking hard is it? Links below, James Maxwell. Thank you for listening.